happened inside some of those areas. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
Breaking right now, Spokane County has declared a state of emergency for major wildfires burning across the region that have destroyed homes and forced thousands of people to evacuate. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. The entire city of Medical Lake is still under level 3 go now evacuations. And according to the Department of Natural Resources, the Gray Fire has killed at least one person. It's also burned roughly 10,000 acres and destroyed at least 185 structures, many of them primary homes. And that fire isn't the only one.
We are also tracking 2 more major wildfires burning in eastern Washington right now. The Oregon Road fire near Elk has grown to more than 8,000 acres in size, has destroyed more than 24 structures, and is threatening many more and is forcing thousands of people to evacuate. And down in Whitman County, crews are getting a handle on the Winona fire, but level 1 evacuations remain in place.
We do have complete KREM 2 team coverage tonight on all of these fires. Nathan Hyun and Amanda Rowley have the latest on the Gray Fire in Medical Lake, and Cody Proctor and Janelle Finch traveled to Elk today to bring us the most up-to-date information on the Oregon Road fire.
We'll start though with Nathan Hyun on the ground in Medical Lake. And Nathan, you got a tour of where the fire swept through last night. What can you tell us?
Well, Mark, Whitney, we're in a neighborhood on the south side of Medical Lake, and the devastation is extensive. Many homes have been reduced to rubble, nothing more than foundations, twisted metal, and some burned cars. But other homes like this one just 5 feet away, somehow still standing. And the fire was devastating, and the damage was widespread. The fire started early yesterday afternoon, and extreme weather conditions drove the flames towards Medical Lake, prompting level 3 evacuations.
Firefighters will continue to work hard.
The Gray Fire is now at 9,500 acres and 0% contained.
Right now we've been heavily engaged in evacuations, structure protection, and trying to secure the line.
District 3 Fire Chief Cody Rohrbach says the fire has burned 185 structures. It's not clear yet on how many of those structures are homes. Officials say that hundreds of homes are still threatened.
We certainly want to get folks back into their houses as soon as possible, and we want to also provide them with the best possible outcome.
Firefighters have been working nonstop since yesterday, and earlier today, Spokane County declared a state of emergency.
We've brought in a lot of additional resources from across the state to help relieve our firefighters, that some of them are nearing 24 hours.
And even though you might not see flames anymore and want to go back home, officials are asking people to stay away.
We recommend if they're in the level 3 evacuation zones to not enter those zones. They're still quite hazardous.
Deputies confirming the worst last night. One person was killed somewhere in the evacuation zone. At this point, no other injuries have been reported, and crews are hoping to keep it that way. So authorities have not released the identity of the person who died in the fire. We also had a chance to speak with people that live in this neighborhood. One woman told me that her neighbor was out running errands yesterday, and when she came home, she came back to find her home burnt to the ground. She also sadly lost 2 dogs. Live in Medical Lake, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
Nathan, thank you. And although many neighborhoods are destroyed tonight, Medical Lake Mayor Terry Cooper says that some of the critical city infrastructure is actually still holding up.
All of the schools are standing. All of the businesses are standing. City Hall is standing. The library is standing. The post office is standing. All of the businesses, the grocery store, every business is standing.
Well, the entire town of Medical Lake, where nearly 5,000 people live, was forced to evacuate yesterday. And at this point, it is not clear when they'll be allowed to return.
Amanda Rowley is continuing our team coverage here on the Gray Fire. She is joining us live from the evacuation center, which has been set up at Spokane Falls Community College. And Amanda, what are you hearing out there tonight?
Yeah, Mark and Whitney, well, the last 24 hours obviously have been a whirlwind for the residents who have had to evacuate because of the Gray Fire. They were first sent to Cheney High School, where the evacuation center was first set up. Then a few hours later, they were relocated here to Spokane Falls Community College. Today, they are hanging on to any update that comes in about this fire. About 100 Gray Fire evacuees took shelter at Spokane Falls Community College overnight.
I think I'm still numb.
Sandy Hastings woke up here with several questions on her mind.
I'll think of things like my mom's quilt that I don't know why I left it there and didn't grab it. You start thinking of things like that and you think, oh gosh, why didn't I grab that? Why didn't I do this?
She and her husband arrived at the shelter with this haunting image of her home. Sandy didn't know if her RV survived the fire, but then her neighbor sent these photos confirming the worst.
He called me and he said, "It's just flattened, Sandy. All of that is gone." I know that I should be thankful, which I am, that my husband and I are safe. It's just that it's, shocking to the system.
Pretty sad to go through Medical Lake and see all the houses gone.
Rich and Mary Millender evacuated late last night from their home of 30 years.
When it got to the point where the helicopter is directly over your house with buckets of water, it's time to leave.
They took off with their trailer and dog Max. Then they set up here at the Walmart in Evacuee Heights.
My little travel trailer, 1963.
What's next for these displaced families isn't clear yet.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
But despite the uncertainty, Medical Lake Mayor Terry Cooper has hope in moving forward.
First of all, I want to say to my Medical Lake residents that I love you. My heart is with you. See, now you touched a nerve. And that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Now, at this time, the Red Cross is saying the best way that you can help these evacuees is by donating money only. That's because at this point, they're not sure yet what specific needs the community has, which means donating monetary donations is the most effective way to really help them purchase those resources that they do find they're going to need to bring these evacuees. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. And as the Gray Fire continues to burn, I-90 has been shut down in both directions for more than 24 hours at this point.
Those closures stretch from Sprague at milepost 245 near the town of Sprague all the way to the US 2 interchange. It's about 20 miles or more, and there are multiple detours for highway travelers. So take a look at your screen. It can be kind of complicated. All travelers right now who are headed eastbound through Spokane must get off at the Sprague exit and then use State Route 23 to 231 to US 2. You can also use State Route 23 to US 195 or State Route 23 to 28 and then US 2.
Meanwhile, all westbound travelers must get off at US 2 and divert through Davenport via State Route 23 to 28 before reconnecting at Sprague. All semi-trucks must use State Route 28 and 23 as they continue around the fires. We spoke with Ryan Overton from WashDOT East, and he said his biggest concern as portions of State Route 94 are closed due to firefighting equipment.
Really, the big impact right now is the fire itself being so close to State Route 904 because that's the detour point around I-90 at this point into Cheney. We can't have traffic on that roadway with firefighting equipment making its way that direction.
And as those road closures continue to change, WashDOT East is encouraging people to look at their Twitter page for the very latest information because it is changing. We also have those updates always on our website. You can look right now. Just go to KREM.com.
All right, let's talk weather right now with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Evacuee, who is tracking conditions at this hour and taking a look at really our hazardous air quality.
Yeah, Jeremy, the wind obviously was a big factor yesterday. Of the smoke now, when can we expect that might move out?
I don't think the smoke's going to move out until Sunday night or Monday morning. You can take a look outside, and we always talk about visibility and how it equates to air quality. Right now, we sit in the hazardous category. That is air quality so dangerous to your health, it's considered hazardous to be outside breathing it. The wind has died down, but that is part of the reason we do have some of this smoke. The smoke is pouring in from Canada and the nearby wildfires, and with wind this calm, a lot of it settles down near the ground. Widespread sustained winds less than 10 miles per hour. Locally around some of those fires here, our wind has subsided greatly from where it was yesterday, but still picking up a bit of it and still seeing some of that smoke pop up on radar. Here is that smoke moving south of Medical Lake on the radar. Rest of this, kind of the rest of that smoke around us, believe it or not, feeding back into the radar scans. A little bit of the smoke up near the Oregon Road fire as well. You can see that right there. And notice the wind, much lighter. These are sustained winds of less than 10 miles per hour. That's your wind speed averaged out over a couple of minutes. But what this wind is doing is pulling in the smoke. Our air quality alerts remain in place through Monday morning. This will not change until Monday when we get a shift in our overall wind direction. There's your gray fire near Medical Lake. Watch what happens as we put it in motion. So from Friday to Friday night, and then into Saturday, we see all of that smoke pour in across the region. That smoke equates to our drop in air quality. We sit in the hazardous realm. 448 is where we currently are. That hazardous sticks around today and tomorrow across much of the inland Northwest, with no real relief in sight until we get into Monday and get a shift in our overall weather pattern. But by Monday morning, we should start to see some major improvements in that air quality. In fact, I think we see improvements in air quality and the chance of rain return to the forecast. I will have a closer look at the rain and let you know where it's coming from and why it looks like it does clean out our air, coming up in your full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll talk to you later in the broadcast. Well, because of our hazardous air quality, the city of Spokane has opened a safe air center where residents can escape that dangerous air.
Yeah, all Spokane library locations, except for the Hilliard branch, are now open for use, as well as the Trent Resource Center. That Trent shelter will be open 24 hours a day while the air quality index remains hazardous, as it is right now. The libraries will open from noon to 4 tomorrow, and then from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Also, the Spokane Transit Authority Plaza will be open until 11:30 tonight, then from 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. tomorrow. STA is also offering free rides to any of these centers.